this is our Lot in Life project. I'm Charles.
I'm Samuel.
I'm Katie.
And here we go.
The introduction. This is a scenario. Your parent who is 55
Speak loud.
has early onset Alzheimer's disease. You are 38, building your career and raising elementary age children. This disease is rapidly progressing, and your parent wanders away from home frequently and only has limited savings and does not qualify for any senior assistance program due to young age. You are having a hard time deciding on care arrangements and juggling work and family. Alzheimer's is a brain progressive disorder that impairs your memory and eventually leading to the inability to perform daily tasks. Development statistics is an estimated 6.9 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's and dementia today. In the United States alone, approximately 10.9% of people aged 65 and older have Alzheimer's and dementia today. 1 in 9 individuals in this age group is living with this condition. There's a 145% increase in Alzheimer's death between 2000 and 2019. 17 causes of death in the United States, and it kills more people than breast, prostate cancer, and hypertension alone.
Alright, for the background info, Alzheimer's disease is a progressive brain disorder that slowly impairs memory, thinking, and the ability to perform everyday tasks. It's the most common form of dementia and usually begins with mild memory loss, like forgetting names or recent conversations, before gradually worsening over time. As the disease advances, it can affect language, reasoning, and even the ability to recognize loved ones or manage basic functions. The condition is associated with the buildup of abnormal proteins in the brain, mainly amyloid plaques and tau tangles, which interfere with communication between brain cells and eventually causes them to die. While the exact cause isn't fully understood, a combination of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors is believed to play a role. Age is the biggest risk factor, with most cases occurring in people over 65, though early onset Alzheimer's can appear in younger individuals. There's no cure yet, but treatments are available to help manage symptoms and support quality of life. Research is ongoing with the hope of developing better therapies, earlier detection, and eventually a cure one day.
So some of the developmental factors to keep in mind when dealing with Alzheimer's patients and those around them is that the cognitive impacts, which are going to be main impacts of this disease. Alzheimer's is a neurodivergent disease, so it mainly affects brain function, and some key points of this is memory loss, especially short-term memory, difficulty with language, trouble finding words, basically that, disorientation, confusion about where they are, when they are even, poor judgment. Obviously with disorientation comes poor judgment, and impaired problem solving and planning, along with loss of reasoning. Now, the physical effects are mainly due to the side effects of the cognitive. So we have loss of motor skills, such as walking, swallowing, that's a big one, the dysphagia, muscle weakness and coordination issues, incontinence, as well as sleep disturbances with these individuals.
Environmental influences are a big one. It's lifestyle choices, like the amount of physical activity, smoking, and alcohol. It's the lowest for people who have healthy behaviors, especially in midlife. Air pollution, just like traffic fumes and burning wood and coal. Sulfur dioxide, solvents, pesticides, those are all air pollution that can contribute to Alzheimer's. Spending time in natural environments and exercise is actually shown to reduce risk by having a positive cognitive outcome coupled with overall health and well-being. Another big influence is economic stability. People who are well employed have better access to healthcare typically, and therefore reduces the Alzheimer's risk. And then consistent access to healthcare gives people opportunity for preventative care, diagnosis of conditions before they show up or get worse. Education and access to equality. People who experience cognitive decline was the lowest for college graduates, so education definitely plays a huge role. Cognitive decline is 3 times greater for people without a high school diploma. In social and community contexts, maintaining strong social connections can have an impact on a person's health. Strong evidence suggests that adults aged 50 and older are socially isolated, which puts their health at risk. Some support and resources is Alzheimer's Association. The services offered is 24/7 helpline, online tools, support groups, and educational program and resources. And then Alzheimer's.gov, the services offered, tips for caregivers. You can find information to help people with dementia live better lives.
More support and resources here locally in Indiana is the Indiana IU Health. They have local support groups, they have education along with professional consultations, which is a very nice resource to get from the community. The next are the financial resources that you can get aid for at least in this current situation, which would be SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance. So she could apply for that, as well as the United States Caregiver Program, which will enable her to stay at home taking care of her mother while still getting paid. To tie all this into the Franciscan values, Alzheimer's disease challenges a person's memory, communication, and independence, but their inherent dignity remains the same. This is something we need to keep in mind when dealing with these individuals and living with them and caring for them. Peace and justice. Alzheimer's can bring emotional turmoil to individuals and the family. Promoting peace means creating environments where those affected feel safe, supported, and calm. And then there's a link to some tips and tricks on how to set up your home and your environment for people with Alzheimer's and dementia. Responsible stewardship. Responsible stewardship for Alzheimer's means having a holistic approach to care and the quality of life of the individual, as well as their entire support team, including affected family members and friends as well. And then reconciliation. Alzheimer's strains relationships as memories fade and roles shift. Reconciliation involves healing these emotional wounds, restoring their broken relationships, and finding new ways to connect. And then the personal emotional response. When reflecting on the situation in an empathetic light, we can easily see how difficult the situation is for all parties involved. We can also see we can also see how we have room to improve on our healthcare system and support for early Alzheimer's patients. The anxiety of caring for not only your children but your parent as well. Your children losing time with you because of your responsibilities while struggling to provide financially is an incredibly difficult situation to be in today's world. But when looking at the connection between the emotions and treatment, I would first focus on helping the individual find both financial and emotional security, as well as helping them find security in their future. Help focus on personal anxieties and combat their feelings of being overstimulated and overwhelmed. I would do this by first looking at financial stress. Start by having the individual apply for SSDI on behalf of the patient, as well as taking into accountability if they can work at home and be a paid caregiver for their family member, while then focusing on education of the individual about Alzheimer's disease and what to expect in the future. Pair this with talk therapy and a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy to help reduce stress and anxiety problems overall.
Alright, so for the conclusion, Alzheimer's affects more than memory. It disrupts a person's cognitive abilities, physical independence, and social identity. These changes create significant emotional and psychological challenges not only for the individual, but for their family. In early onset cases where the disease strikes someone still in midlife, the impact is even more crippling. Traditional support systems often aren't designed to accommodate younger patients, leaving families to manage complex care with limited resources. From a developmental perspective, Alzheimer's disrupts the expected flow of life stages and family roles. Adult children often find themselves in the sandwich generation, caught between raising their own children and caring for a parent with a degenerative condition. This strain can lead to emotional exhaustion, financial stress, and fractured family dynamics. Grandchildren, in turn, may experience confusion, emotional distance, or anxiety as their parent becomes increasingly overwhelmed and the grandparent they once knew begins to change. These ripple effects show the urgent need for age-inclusive interventions, caregiver mental health support, and family-centered resources. And these are some of the sources that were used in this presentation.
And this overall was our Lot in Life project. Appreciate it and have a good summer.